Hey y'all, welcome to the Human and Machine Crypto channel, where we talk to the leaders developing some of the hottest technologies in the blockchain space around the world. My name is Hikaru, also known as The Machine, a crypto junkie glued to anything and everything blockchain. So today we have two guests here from DAOventures. We're excited to speak with them. But before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button, share our content, and also subscribe for more great content. So today we have Dennis Hui, a DeFi Portfolio Strategist, and also Gurujeet Singh, DeFi Analyst from DAOventures. So Dennis, how are you today?
We're good. We've been looking forward to this. We're happy to talk about the things that we've been developing, and it's a pleasure to be here today with you.
Awesome. And then Guru, how are you?
Great today. It's a pleasure being here.
Awesome.
Getting to share with you what we've been building on DAOventures.
Awesome. So, just as a precursor, right? What is DAOventures? It is a DeFi automated portfolio manager that makes DeFi less complex and less treacherous for newbies. That makes profitable investing, right, much more easier. So let's first start with you guys, right? Dennis, tell us about your background. How did you get into blockchain, DeFi, and then where you are now?
It's a really funny story. Sometime in 2014, I met a girl on Tinder. And she told me about, hey, I got this thing called Bitcoin. Okay, and it's 2014, and nobody's heard of Bitcoin. All right, so I heard about it, and I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. I was working in traditional finance back then, so I thought I knew finance, right? I thought I knew investments. And this girl on Tinder tells me she's got some Bitcoin, and I'm like, okay, I heard it. My brain got primed for it, and then in early 2017, when the bull market was just about starting, I said, okay, maybe it's time for me to really buy some Bitcoin. And then, things led into the bear market. We survived it, and then when we came out of it, DeFi was what really kicked off this latest bull run. So we've been in DeFi ever since then. Practically since a year ago when liquidity mining was first launched. So here we are, and DAOventures is where we help investors or help users make a lot of money from protocols that they may not understand yet.
Got it. So then, what is your primary role at DAOventures?
My role as a strategist is to study the landscape and look for ways to make consistent yields, make consistent returns for our investors, for our users who do not have the chance or do not have the time to go study smart contracts or to figure out how these protocols work. And that's where we come in to give them the expertise and bring that service of financial asset management readily available to them.
Got it. Yeah, we'll definitely expand on that, right? Why we need DeFi strategists.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, okay, well, how about you, Guru? What's your background? Tell us your story.
So how I got into crypto was basically through Dennis, because throughout the bear market in 2018, he kept shitposting on social media. So it caught my attention, and then I started to research a bit on Bitcoin. Bought my first Bitcoin maybe late 2019, and then since then, once you get into the rabbit hole, there's no coming out. So DeFi kickstarted late 2020, mid 2020. Then I started researching, and then I got once you get your hands wet, you can't unwet them anymore. So since then, I've been all in crypto, and I've been studying the market, learning the sentiment, learning how things work. So my role in DAOventures, actually, I'm a DeFi analyst. So what I do, I basically support Dennis. So I study the market. I deep dive into communities. I deep dive into Telegram groups. I deep dive into Twitter. I see what's going on in the market, what people are talking about. Is there money to be made here? Is there money to be lost here? Should we get out? Should we stay in? So I'm usually the one on the ground, and then I provide my feedback with what I get to Dennis and helps him to construct his strategies.
Got it. So you guys are kind of like the pairs, working together.
We're kind of like a tag team. So one thing, right, Hikaru? One thing about us is we're both pro wrestlers. Okay, so I run a wrestling school in Singapore, and Guru was one of our longest time trainees. And then there's a bond when you're training. There's a bond when you're working out every few days a week. And so we led into this thing with DeFi and crypto, and we could trust each other. So that's where we are today.
Got it. So you said you run a wrestling firm in Singapore.
Yeah, pro wrestling, like WWE wrestling, like The Rock wrestling.
All right. Do you accept crypto?
I've been trying to get Guru to pay in crypto, but he wouldn't part with his crypto. So
Why would I want to lose my Bitcoin?
Yeah, not financial advice, but hodl, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Got you. Okay. So then, when it comes to DAOventures, right, you mentioned about like designing portfolio strategies. Can you just kind of explain the context and why we need this? Like, what are the problems with DeFi right now? Maybe starting with Dennis.
The problems with DeFi, right, is that
Yeah.
look at it this way. Look at it this way. Of all the people in the world, the number of people who actually own Bitcoin is a very small percentage, right? And of those people who own Bitcoin already, many of them have not diversified into looking at things like Ethereum, right? And suppose there's a little slice of people who have already started to venture into Ethereum. Many of them just hold it as a passive investment, but they don't actually use a smart contract. Right? Many people have never interacted with a smart contract before. So the way it looks like this, right? There's Bitcoin people, and then there's Ethereum people. And of this Ethereum people, there's only a small slice that has ever interacted with DeFi. And so it's really difficult. There's a lot of pitfalls. Every day you're gonna, every day you're gonna see a hack or an exploit or a rug pull. Billionaires are not spared from it, right? Look at Mark Cuban; he's getting rugged as well, like all of us, right? So there's a lot of pitfalls that people are not aware of yet. And just because you see the high returns or the high yields that are advertised, that is not the full picture they're telling you, right? Telling you all the returns without disclosing the risk. So that is our job. Our job is to make these things more accessible to people. Come here to make money, and trust us that we will, in our good judgment, we won't lose it as well. Okay.
Right.
So work with us in our smart contracts. We've assessed the portfolio balancing strategies. We've designed the products and instruments to do exactly the objective we're trying to achieve. And then after that, wait for the yields to come in.
Got it. Maybe, Guru, can you kind of expand on how DAOventures does that? Like, what is the solution to all these problems that
So
Dennis mentioned?
I think the biggest problem, like Dennis has mentioned, reiterate on it's DeFi is not user friendly. It's actually quite tough to use. Like you go into a protocol, I have friends messaging me every day. What the hell does this mean? Why would I want to deposit collateral on Aave? What am I doing? Like nobody really gets it. So that's what we're trying to do at DAOventures. We're trying to simplify the whole process so a normal person can come in and earn the alpha that everybody's been earning. So
Yeah.
that's the biggest gap that we're trying to close here.
Got it. No, it makes sense. It's like a friend asked me, "Oh, how do you do liquidity mining?" Oh, it only takes like 120 steps, right? And so, yeah,
So
that's
it's like
how it
instead
is.
of answering all my friends, I'll tell them, "Oh, you want to know how to do this? Go to
Right.
DAOventures. Just put your money there. We do it for you."
Right, right. So then, can you kind of define what is an automated like portfolio manager? Maybe from the traditional perspective, but what is it supposed to do in general?
So let me take that because I used to work in traditional asset management. I used to be a bond trader, and we will take in investor money, and there'll be a small portfolio allocated to us to go manage and grow it, right? But the issue with traditional financial management is that is this risk of having your custody of your assets handed over to somebody else. Okay, this is what we call centralized finance. Now, the way DeFi works, or the way we do things at DAOventures, is that we use smart contracts. We use smart contracts as a way for people to invest their money without handing the money over to anybody else. They will always be in full control, full ownership of their assets. And these assets, right, we are going to deploy them into many different platforms where yields are generated and then handed back over to the investor to withdraw at any point in time. The issue with traditional finance is very manual, it's very paper based. If anyone has ever tried to withdraw your money out of a unit trust or a mutual fund before, the actual selling of the assets, that will take just a couple of minutes. But to get the money back into your bank, that's going to be a lot of forms, a lot of paperwork. It's going to take 3 weeks, and your money hopefully lands in your bank account by then. And that's just a very different model of how things are running. DeFi is this new innovation which makes things so seamless, so easy. It's just it's really a no-brainer kind of way to do it as you leave your money with DAOventures.
All right, so that's good. I mean, let's kind of explain with an example, right, what you guys are talking about. I see you guys go on your website, and I see like DAO Citadel and like DAO Stonks. Now, I'm kind of laughing here, right? So can you explain how this came to be, the naming of your product?
Let's talk about how we name our portfolio strategies. Okay, so
Okay.
we have one called the Citadel, we have one called Stonks. These are very popular memes in crypto, right? Citadel is this imaginary place in the future. It came from this Reddit story of a time traveler who comes from the future to the present, and he tells everybody on Reddit, like, there's a promised land in the future, there's some utopia city, and the only way to get inside is if you are an owner of Bitcoin. Okay, if you're an owner of Bitcoin, you gain entry to the Citadel. If you're a no coiner, I'm sorry, you stay on the street outside. Okay, so is this meme? He did have some very coincidental calls where he did manage to call the prices of Bitcoin over the last couple of years. So it lends some credibility to the fact that he could actually be a time traveler. All right, so we named one of our portfolio strategies after this instead of really boring names in TradFi. Traditional finance, their asset or their portfolio names would be something like high yield or balanced portfolio or conservative blend. Some really boring ass names like that. But we decided to go with the language that our community speaks. And so Citadel was something that we decided to use as a Bitcoin heavy market index portfolio. Right? If I call it a market weight portfolio, that sounds like it's going to make everyone go to sleep. Right? It's super boring. We didn't leave TradFi to come back with TradFi terms again. So we decided not to do that. We went with memes. And the other portfolio is the one we call Stonks. Everyone's seen that Stonks meme of this dude in a suit, and he's got this background where the prices are going up, and he just goes Stonks, right? Any strategy or any business making idea he has, if he makes money, it's Stonks. If he buys something and it goes up, Stonks. He saves some money at McDonald's, Stonks. So we decided to use this meme where you invest in a tech stock portfolio, and we call it stonks because that's what the misspelling, the intentional, hilarious misspelling of stocks is stonks, right? So the most popular stock basket that we have in the US that's been outperforming is the FANG basket. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Netflix and Google, right? And that thankfully is a cryptocurrency version of each of those stocks, represented as synthetic tokens where the price is pegged to the real world equity. And we decided to create a basket out of that. It's going to outperform the same stock market index, the same stock market basket in the real world, in the traditional finance world, and it only has half the volatility of the stock market. So in terms of risk and reward, I think that is an extremely excellent thing that we devised. Half the volatility of the stock market with returns that will outperform it. Sounds like a no-brainer, and that's what we have created as well.
Got you. Guru, would you like to add on to that?
I think the only thing I can add on to that is that we all love memes, man. Crypto's all about memes.
Yeah.
So what sucks you into the black hole. So,
Right. On top of these funny memes, of course, underneath, right, you guys have a real strategy, and I can kind of sense there's a lot of research that goes in. So
Yep.
how do you really create these investment strategies? Kind of like what you're explaining. Does it have to do with the volatility, how much returns you get? Essentially, right, if I was going into DAOventures, how do I feel comfortable?
So a lot of our strategies are developed with a narrative in mind. So for example, Citadel is developed with a narrative where it represents a market weighted index. So we hold exposure to all the higher market cap coins. So we have 45% exposure to Bitcoin, 35% exposure to Ethereum, 15% exposure to alts, stuff like that. So there's a narrative there. It's like, so for example, right now, if we are like the trend suggests going into a bear market, what you would want to do, what a lot of people want to do is de-risk. And when you de-risk, what you do, you buy higher MCAP coins. So that's the narrative that we have created with this strategy. It's where you invest into relatively safer assets in crypto world. So you get exposed to the crypto market. But on top of that, we also take your portfolio and diversify it into different LPs. So we also earn yield farming rewards, we earn trading fees, and of course the most anticipated one is capital appreciation.
Right.
So all our strategies have this narrative behind them.
Got it. And then as you guys understand, DeFi is just moving at an absolutely crazy fast speed, right? The strategies today could be outdated tomorrow. So how do you guys keep up with this?
That's why we have Guru, our product machine, right? So Guru's nickname is the product machine. He knows the product inside out. I do look at strategy from a top-down, larger perspective, but Guru gets down to understanding all the details of how each of these things work. I think if you are a video game player or poker player, you have this sense of the meta, right? Meta is the predominant strategy of that particular period of time. And the meta within DeFi shifts really quickly. and we want to be able to capture each of these times. Each of these times, a new meta emerges. We want to build a strategy around that. So Guru and I are spending hours every day just using platforms. We are like addicts. We're like heavy users, and we understand the product, and then we design something that's useful for people.
I see. So there are other, let's say, similar projects out there, right, that makes DeFi investing easier. And there's a ton of other like DeFi projects in general. One's named after food, and unfortunately, too many on dogs. So how do you guys differentiate from similar projects?
I
I
think
think
the one key differentiation, like the one market we are trying, the one protocol or the one type of protocol that we're trying to hit is yield optimizers. So the one different thing we offer from yield optimizers is that yield optimizers usually always give you exposure to just a single coin or a single LP. So you deposit your ETH, you get the best possible returns you can get in ETH. You deposit your Bitcoin, you get the best possible returns you can get in Bitcoin. We don't do that. What we do is we give you exposure to crypto in general. So most of our vaults will all contain exposure to more than one cryptocurrency or more than one LP. So it's a diversified portfolio that is also consistently rebalanced every day. So it's rebalanced, your interest is compounded every day. So that's the key difference we have between other yield optimizers.
Right. So does that mean that no matter, let's say, relative to within the crypto market, right? Altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin or vice versa, or even just within. Does that mean that every single day I'm getting the maximum returns possible based on your strategies?
I don't think it's maximum returns possible. It's you're getting the exposure that you desire possible every single day. So, for example, if today Bitcoin completely outperforms Ether, you're going to sell that extra Bitcoin and buy more Ether. So your exposure is still the same.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dennis, would you like to add to that?
I think the way that you can see our approach is that for many other platforms, right, the optimization occurs only on a single asset level or a pair level, right? Let's say with Aave, let's say with Compound, when you leave a single asset there as a supply, you get an interest rate paid back in that same coin. If you use platforms like Beefy or let's say Auto Farm, you can put an LP and they'll give you more LPs in return. Correct? They help to compound, they help to grow your liquidity pair position. But for us, we've designed a way that we can compound a portfolio that itself is comprised of 5 or 6 different LPs. That is a new innovation that we're bringing that previously was not possible. I think the benefit of this is that let's say in the bear market of 2018, right, when the market is shitting itself, you as a portfolio as an investor, you're caught long. The only thing you can do is buy and hold, which is a really not a great strategy to survive in and during a bear market. You buy and you hold, and every day you're just going to go sink with your ship. But with our strategy, sure, the market may be going down, but you're being compensated daily with yields, with rewards, with fees that will help to keep your position afloat. And finally, when the bull market comes back, you're going to realize your portfolio is actually bigger than when you started with the thing at the end of the bull run. You know what I mean?
Right.
So your base keeps growing every day and in a balanced exposure in your portfolio that we have deemed is something that's responsible and reasonable enough.
Got it. DeFi in itself is, I would say, ludicrous, right, for people in the traditional world. Double digit, triple digit APYs. But what's the catch here? What's the risk that we should know about when DAOventures?
We'll let the product
So
machine
okay,
go.
the one thing we have talked, one thing we have done with our ventures is we are not going to look for this crazy, insane 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 APY and give it to our users. What we want is long, sustainable strategies. Because if I'm going to go and find a farm that gives you, like, let's say Iron and Titan, if I go and find that farm, it's going to last you what, 2 weeks before you collapse on itself, 3 weeks, maybe a month. So that's not what we want at our ventures. We want to have long, investable strategies. So that's my job where I come in to find what is long and investable. So everybody talks about the APY, but you need to know where the APY is coming from. Where is the liquidity coming from? Does it make sense? Is it sustainable? So that's where my research comes in and I find out why is it coming from. Will this APY survive? Yes, it might not be the same, but will it still be a respectable APY? Even 5% APY honestly is pretty decent as compared to 0.5, 0.3, 0.4 you're getting in traditional markets. So that's what we're trying to do at our ventures. We're trying to build strategies that will there will be there are long-term strategies that you could invest in, that you could put $1,000 in every day, and you could forget about it till 2025.
Yeah. If you want to gamble, if you want to make 10,000% APY, take your crypto and do it yourself. You want to gamble? Please be my guest. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy it as well, right? I mean, you never know when you're gonna get rugged, but it's for some people it's this little dopamine thrill. But if you want to build a sustainable strategy, you want to build a continuously cash flow generating strategy, come to us. Leave your money on chain with us, and we'll take care of that with our strategies.
Right. And the best part is that you can
Yeah,
verify that, right?
exactly. Yeah.
DeFi.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you can open your own eyes and read the code, please be my guest and take a look at it.
Okay. Yeah. For those, that are tech savvy. DeFi really is about, in one aspect, like money Legos, right? It's not just companies in silo kind of competing, but rather legacy systems like Yearn Finance that really, I would say, push DeFi are building blocks to many DeFi projects. So can you explain, what other projects or DeFi Lego blocks that DAOventures uses, if any?
So we use all the Lego blocks because we are like right on top of the pyramid. We are right at the bottom of the pyramid. Sorry. So we use all the different Lego blocks. We farm on Sushi. We also borrowed land assets on Aave, on Compound. So we have scripts to find out which is the best lending protocol. We also do stuff on Yearn. So we are right at the bottom, and then we find the best use of the money Legos to give you the best possible returns.
Got it. That's
I think
awesome.
knowing which Lego blocks to choose from depends on what the strategy or what your objective you're trying to achieve is. What is the objective you're trying to achieve? Are you trying to reduce volatility? Are you trying to maximize returns, within a tolerable risk limit? You find what your objective is, and out there in the Lego box, there's something for you. Okay, whether it is Sushi, whether it is Uniswap, whether it's Beefy, there's always something to be used. Just find the right thing, right tool for the job.
Exactly, yeah. I like what you said. Like, what is your objective? And that's really important. Volatility or like maximize returns, right?
Yeah.
Let's say I want the least amount of volatility, because I get heart attacks when I see like crypto, going up and down 50%. Yeah. So I think you were mentioning something about having a lower volatility than the stock market. How is that possible?
This is made possible with one of our favorite protocols called Mirror Finance. Mirror basically it creates a synthetic version of a real world equity, right? For example, let's say Google shares. It creates this cryptocurrency whose price reflects the actual Google shares price. We call it M Google or mirrored Google. And the way to get the yields out of this M Google is to pair it with a stable coin as a market maker. So your market making pair is a stable coin and mirrored Google. And in order to incentivize people to do this liquidity pairing, Mirror Protocol pays its own incentive coins to the LPs. So that yield, it's probably around like 40-50% APY right now. I mean, if I ask you what's the probability of Google shooting up 50% within the next year, you're gonna answer it's not very high. But with Mirror Protocol, they're saying here's 50%, take it. And because you are pairing your stock market position with a stable coin, you're essentially half in stable coins. So you're reducing your volatility of the coin by half, or of the pair by half, right? And again, to stress on that safety part, we know the crypto market is volatile, right? You're just talking about it. You're saying your heart attacks when you're looking at crypto prices. We know that the equities market has a fraction of the volatility of the crypto market. And we are reducing that fraction of the volatility of the crypto market. We're reducing it by 50% even further. So you're getting a really safe position that generates you 40 to 50% a year. I think that sounds like a good deal. I would put my money in that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. But, by all means, right? But, some people would still be skeptical, right? It's like 40%, that's trash. So
Yeah.
I think one metric to kind of boost confidence and people really see, hey, it's working is the total lock value, right? TVL.
Yep.
What are you guys' plans to make sure that that's coming in organically?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, right now we are really very newly launched. We just launched Citadel like a week ago. So we have a lot of marketing plans in order. We have airdrops, like typical DeFi protocols. We have airdrops coming up where we target a certain set of DeFi users with the investment mentality that we have. with people who have the same line of thought. So we airdrop our tokens to them, let them know what we are all about. So that's how we hope to organically grow our TVL.
Got it.
Yeah,
And then do you plan to roll out, like, say, new investment
yeah,
strategies or the next
100%.
the stonks or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
That's entirely our job at DAOventures.
Yeah.
Our boss, our partner, Victor, he runs DAOventures. He said, you got only one job and just keep churning out money making strategies for our developers to code. If the developers are sitting around idle, you're not doing your job enough. So we've created a backlog of like 20 strategies for them to keep churning out day in and day out, day out, and they will make these things onto our platform so that users have a very diverse menu of things to choose from based on the objectives that they have in mind as an investor.
Yep.
I see.
So, and we're gonna name them all after really ridiculous memes. We got one that we're making right now. It's called the money printer goes brr. You know, that's a fat meme, right? The fat
Yeah,
that's like the guy is bleeding in his eyes and he's just churning out that
yeah.
dollar bills.
Jerome.
We decided to name one of our stablecoin strategies money printer goes brr because it just accelerates your stablecoin growth.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to that one. Yeah. So I'm sure like a lot of these strategies and demand should also come from the community and the users, right? So how do you engage with them? And then how can they engage with you?
How can they engage with us? There's a feedback. There's a little corner on the website for feedback. There's an active Telegram group. There's a our team gets together at least 3 times a week to discuss what the community is looking for. So that feedback always trickles down to all the relevant teams, and then we act on it and build new strategies or change things that the community is giving us feedback on that aren't working too well. I mean, like the thing about DeFi, right, is that everybody's building this new scene together. Everybody plays their own part, right? The users are super important to us because without their feedback, we can't improve our product. But the product's also important, right? We need to look at the landscape and keep enhancing this thing together. So it's what we always call it, right? Decentralized. Everybody gets a share, everybody gets a say, and then we build this thing that serves the needs of the community.
Got it, yeah. So, I mean, that being said, we're halfway done, right, with 2021. I know you guys are rolling out new products, new strategies, but what other trends or I would say features can the community expect for the rest of this year?
So you can expect a lot of strategies that are in line with Citadel, with the way Citadel is done, but all involving different risk profiles. So we got more degen strategies where instead of being exposed to Bitcoin and Ether, you are exposed to all these alts. We also have more stable strategies like Money Printer Gober, where you're exposed to stable coins instead of Bitcoin and Ether. So you can expect a lot more of this kind of strategies with different narratives behind them. There's as far as me and Dennis go, we always want to have a thesis or a story behind why we choose this portfolio. So there's a reason. Like it isn't just randomly, or I want Bitcoin 40%. I want
Right.
this. No, there's a reason why we do this. So you can expect a lot more strategies like this.
Got it. So the idea is like whoever comes to you, they're like, hey, I want this risk exposure, this risk reward, this much whatever. Essentially, you would be able to point and say, hey, we got the right one for you. Is that the idea?
Yes, 100%. Yep.
Got
So
it.
something for everyone.
Got you. Okay. Great. Dennis,
And I think
yeah.
later on as well, because as we're building all the strategies, the other trend is the movement towards a multi-chain ecosystem. Right? DeFi started on Ethereum. Yes, it dragged all of us out of the bear market. Yes, it all started with Ethereum DeFi. But then BSC came along, Binance Smart Chain came along, right? And then Polygon and Solana. So the goal for us becomes it's no longer just to build strategies on one chain, but to replicate the same strategies or modify them to fit on to house or sit on other chains where we can catch the TVL on those sites as well.
Got you. Yeah, for sure. I mean, cross-chain is a really, really hot narrative, but the fact is it's actually really difficult to implement right now.
Yep.
The infrastructure is not there yet, but imagine all the new arbitrage opportunities you can do. It's just insane.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
This is like building the railroad network in the Wild West. The rails are not there yet. Someone's got to do the job of reducing the friction, of facilitating transfer of assets back and forth, and whoever that's going to be is going to they're going to collect a lot of fees and provide a service that's very valuable to the ecosystem. So it's currently that point in history where it's a barren land and we're just trying to build the roads.
Yeah, good analogy. I really enjoy the conversation, the memes and all of that. Definitely a project that I can recommend my mom and dad, right, who are interested, because they're always asking me, like, what are you doing? And it's just really hard to explain.
Oh, it's
So,
really hard to explain for us as well. My mom is like, "Oh, you're still doing that Bitcoin thing?" So
yeah,
I moved on
yeah,
from Bitcoin ages already, but to her, it's still the Bitcoin thing.
exactly. Yeah. So here on the Human and Machine channel, because DeFi moves so fast, we like to often follow up, right, with the people we talk to, 3, 6 months down the road and really see, hey, how is the innovation and progress and just talk about what's new. So, if you guys are okay with it, I'd be happy to talk again, a couple
Yeah,
months down the
at this
road.
rate, you're probably gonna look for us in McDonald's. If this
Yeah.
bear market lasts, we're all gonna be in McDonald's. Just kidding,
Or,
just kidding. No,
Probably
no,
need a
no.
McDonald's vault as well.
yeah. Or I could be using your product, right, and just, chilling on the beach, making income.
Well,
Yeah.
No, no, yeah, yeah, all jokes aside, yes, we'd be happy to follow up in a couple of months with you. I think it's nice that you're offering that because DeFi is never or crypto is never a snapshot story. It's always a where were we before, where are we now, where are we in the future. It's always a study of your trends and your progress. So snapshotting is not too fair, and I think like just having a ability to call back in a future video to where we are now. We just do a callback and see look where we are. I think that's going to be a good story in itself.
Exactly, yeah. So, to conclude, I also want to give a shout out to our community to really learn more, right? Instead of just watching, take part in action. These guys are super open. Go to their website, DAOventures.co. They have a Telegram, Twitter, all those channels. So really try to engage and learn from them because I'm sure you guys have a lot more to share with the community.
Oh, we could talk we turn blue in the face about DeFi. So yeah, we've been really happy to be on Human Machine today. I think you guys, I think your channel is awesome. Like you guys have a good energy as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right,
just to echo
so
what you said about feedback, like one thing I realized about crypto is that it's probably the place where you can get the best feedback and customer service compared to what a lot of other people say. Like the other day at 3 a.m., I had a problem with Sushi Swap. I went into their Discord. 3 anonymous frogs replied me in 5 minutes. Try doing that. Try doing that to Citibank. Try doing that to DBS, and no one's going to reply to you. So come to our Telegram. Give us feedback. You can guarantee if your feedback makes sense, we're going to work on it.
awesome. Great. So yeah, thank you very much for being here today, Dennis and Guru. I really enjoyed it. So we'll hope to talk again.
Okay, but thanks a lot, Hikaru.
Thanks
All
a lot,
right.
man. I enjoyed being here. Hope to
All
see you
right.
again.
Have a good day.
Please.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So, wow, that was quite a funny conversation as well. Really, bright guys and just lots of energy. I enjoyed it. The thing about DeFi is, again, like they said, it's really difficult, right? There's just so much going on. And when you're kind of using these automated portfolio platforms, it's very easy on the user side. But behind that, man, just imagine all those strategies that's being cranked out. So I would say a lot of appreciation for what these guys are doing. They're solving a really fundamental problem. And it just, I would say, opens the doors for a lot of new people coming in, especially who are kind of scared to learn about this or just really high barriers to entry. So I really like what they're doing. I hope their platform can really grow as they're speaking. And yeah, I cannot wait to catch up with them again. So again, that was DAOventures, a DeFi automated platform. And yeah, go to their website, go to their community, and like they said, ask them questions. So that's it for today's Human and Machine channel. We'll see you next time.